second unit. And already I have told you that this block, it is mainly dealing with the management of teaching learning process. So here, the management of teaching learning process, it includes various managing things like how to identify and select appropriate resources. Generally, what we think is that the duty of the head or the headmaster or headmistress or principal, their main duty is to just supervise or monitor like that or administrate. So administering includes all these aspects: how to select the particular resources, how to identify. And the second unit, what we have discussed in my earlier class, that is procurement and management of teaching learning resources. In that procurement of resources, we have seen several stages. What is important? The planning stage is important. And then we have to procure the materials. So, all these things in the planning stage itself, there are different cycles. What we have to plan, how we have to plan, and how to implement the planned stage. I hope that these two units are over. Today, we are going to deal with the management of physical resources. Now, I want to know from your school context what term you are using for these physical resources. What term? Kauki, can you tell what term are you using in your school for the physical resources? Whether the same term or different term, you can tell. Kauki, are you there? James, can you tell what is the term used for physical resources? In Indian context, we will tell management of physical resources. What is the term used?
Okay,
Come
so
on.
madam, please, in our school, when we are
Ah,
talking about fiscal resources, and fiscal resources come in terms of marker,
ah.
boards, teaching and learning materials. These are the ones that normally, if we are preparing budget or if you are requesting for something under the item fiscal resource, we mention these things there.
Okay. So the same term physical resources or infrastructure. What any other difference is there? Physical resources only using. Okay. So what about Suleiman? Can you tell whether it is physical resources or different type of resources? Kauki, what happened to you? You are not there. Kauki Peter? Huh. Kauki Peter? Muniaba is joined. Good morning, Muniaba. Muniba? Muniba Sufian? Whether there is any connectivity issue, unmute and tell Vish.
Okay, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And for you, good morning. Suleiman,
Okay.
can you tell what about how the management of physical resources in your school? Which school are you teaching? Whether it is primary school or secondary school or higher secondary? Suleiman?
Hello, ma.
Yeah. Which school? Which grade level you are teaching?
Okay, university level.
University level. Okay. Which
Yeah.
university? Which university?
What?
Which university are you teaching? Your name of your university.
Okay, Yobe State University.
Okay, okay. So there
Yeah.
also how the management of resources is going on. Can you tell how the resources are managed there?
Actually, ma, I have no more idea on that aspect.
Okay. Which subject are you
Yeah.
teaching?
Public admin.
Which one? I didn't hear.
Hello.
Which? Eh? There are a lot of noise from your side. Eh?
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay then. So here, uh, eh, Muniba, can you tell about the management of physical resources in your school? How it is happening? Muniba, unmute and tell.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Whether that same term, physical resources, is used in your school or any other term.
I did not get the question.
Yeah. Come on.
I did not hear the question.
What is the term used in African context about the term physical resources? Because in Indian context, we use physical resources or resources. So, what term is used in your school for the different items, table, chair, the teaching, learning resources, other things? Any other new term? Have you got the question now, Muniba?
Ma, I did not understand the question.
Yeah,
The question is
I
not
thought.
clear to me.
I cannot hear because of some connectivity problem is there. Okay. So now we are going to learn about this, how to manage physical resources. We know that, as I have already taught you about the identification and selection of resources and the procurement and management of resources. Now we are going to discuss about management of physical resources. Whether the slides are visible, yes or no? Slides are visible.
It is
I
visible, ma.
Yeah. You three, four students also, if there is active participation, the teachers will get encouragement to take the class. Don't sit like this, you have to interact. Eh?
Okay,
Okay.
madam.
Okay. So this is one statement. I request Kawuki to read this statement. Kawuki Peter, can you read this statement? Kawuki, I thought some simply switch on and then going somewhere. Kawuki, are you there? Kawuki Peter? Then James, can you read this statement?
Yes, madam.
James?
Yes. An efficient school is one which makes good use of all its available resources to achieve the best possible educational outcome for all its pupils, and in doing so provides excellent value for money. Oxford
Oh,
1995.
okay. So this is a statement which relates with the management of different types of resources. What is your opinion about this statement? Who can tell? What is your own opinion about this statement? Can you expand? What does this statement mean? Muniba, can you expand? Look at the statement and you paraphrase it. Muniba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What do you understand from this statement?
I understood that the advantage of measurement and evaluation for the learning of an effective
Okay.
school environment.
Yeah. I thought connectivity issue is there. Sound is not coming. Okay. So we can see that an efficient school is one. It is speaking about an efficient school where there is the availability of variety of resources. So the availability of the resources, it should be used at the maximum. And what is the purpose of using these resources? That is for the educational outcomes for all the children, not only for a few, not only for the intelligent, it is the best utilization of these resources for the educational outcomes of all learners, and in doing so it provides excellent value for money. Why? Because there incur cost in purchasing of resources, so that we have to utilize it at the maximum level. Now, the thing, meaning of resource management, the term meaning of resource management. What do we mean by resource management? When we look at the term, we can see that resource management, it is a process, a kind of process of allocating resources to achieve the greatest organizational value. So it is not a just an invalid thing, it is mobility, the resource management. It is a process. So what are the process includes? The distributing, purchasing of resources. First one, identifying the resources, then selecting the resources, purchasing the resources, allocating the resources to achieve the greatest organizational value. And the next one, resource management, it is critical for organizations to ensure they are optimizing and allocating resources to the right initiatives. So, for the part of the organization, whether it is a school organization or higher education organization, what we want to ensure is the optimum utilization of the resources, allocating of the resources at the right direction. Sometimes we can see lopsided kinds of resource allocation. Now, when we look at this physical resource management or look at the physical resources, it is appeared in three ways. Suleiman, can you read these three terms? Suleiman?
Okay, ma.
Yeah,
The first one is intangible.
yeah,
The second one is finance, while the
yeah.
last one is tangible.
Tangible. Good. So
Yeah.
intangible, finance, and tangible. And what do you mean by this intangible? What is the meaning of intangible? Kawuki, Peter, can you tell what is the meaning of intangible?
Yes, ma. I'm sure I've
Yeah.
been out.
Ah,
Intangible, those are resources which you can't touch.
you can't catch. Okay. Now only you are joining. इसके पहले I have called your name several times. Where were you? Eh? You went
I've
somewhere.
been out. Yes,
Okay, you
please.
have been out only. Now only you have reached. Okay, so what Kauki has stated is that cannot be seen, tangible. That cannot be seen. Seeing things we can touch, we can see, we can recognize, that is not possible in intangible. And finance, we know that it deals with the transactions which incur the cost effectiveness. Then comes the tangible things. The tangible things means that can be seen with our eyes, that can be seen. Now, I have shown, displayed a variety of resources to you. Now, I request James to read all these resources from time you start. Times, James,
All
you
right, madam.
start from time. Time.
Okay, so I'm reading from time. That is from my
Yeah.
right to left.
Yeah.
Time, accounting, building, manpower, space, staffs, drinking water supply, records, and then the middle one is resources.
Resources. That is the main thing. Which are the different types of resources? So the different types of resources, when we classify, or these are some of the examples. Time is one type of resource, accounting is one type of resource, building is one type of resource, manpower is another resource, space is another resource, staff, that including the supporting staff, the non-teaching staff, the teaching staff, everybody comes under the staff category. These are also another type of resources. Then drinking water supply is another resource, records. And among these resources, we can see that the resources can be classified into three: intangible, finance, tangible. Now, my question is, time comes under which type of resource? Time.
Intangible.
Intangible. Correct answer. Who said a Muniba?
Yes,
Eh?
ma'am.
Okay. Now your mic is okay. Okay, Muniba. Good. Then accounting. What type of resource? Accounting.
Finance.
Finance. Only Muniba is answering. Others, why they are keeping quiet? Building.
Okay,
Suleiman.
we will raise our hand.
Building is
Building is
Tangible.
tangible.
tangible resource. Building is tangible resource. Then comes manpower. What type of resource? Manpower. Manpower is what type of resource?
Tangible, I think.
That is intangible.
What type? Tangible. Any other answer?
Intangible.
Tangible. Wrong. Manpower, how we can see? We can see human beings only.
Doesn't.
We cannot see the power or the capacity of the human beings. When they did any work only their capacity is revealing. But when we say that this person is having lot of abilities, we are just believing that words. But we cannot see the ability until and unless he or she perform a task. So manpower, it is intangible. Then space. What about space? Whether it is tangible, intangible, or financial? Space?
It's intangible.
Intangible. Correct answer. Then staff. Whether it is tangible or intangible? Staff?
It's tangible, ma'am.
Very good. Drinking water supply. Whether it is tangible or intangible?
Drinking water is
Yes.
tangible.
Correct answer. Records. Whether it is tangible or intangible? Records? Record.
Records.
Ah.
Finance.
Records comes under, it may comes under finance also, but
And it
when we,
becomes under
that is
tangible.
tangible only, but when
Yes.
we speaks about the registry, the financial records, the accounting records, everything, it comes under the financial. So a correct answer, Muniba, is tell it can be under tangible as well as under financial. Very good answers. Now, when we look at the tangible resources in a school, we can see that the nature and quality of the curriculum offered in a school is closely related to the available resources, and not only to the availability, it is more important how these resources are used. So we have seen there are three types of resources. Now, this tangible resources, the building we are going to take, the school building, it is a kind of tangible resources, school building. What are the major sections of school building? When we said that a school building is a tangible resource, this school building has a shape. It has got several rooms, and then it consists of the human beings. So everything is tangible. So in a space, it has acquired some kind of infrastructure facilities. And now we can see that this school building, it can be divided. In Indian context, we can divide the school situation into two: academic and administrative. Which are the two divisions? Academic and administrative. So what all things comes under academic things? Now I request any one of you to state about the section of your school building, whether the division is under academic and administrative or in a different way. Kavuki, can you tell whether it is under the same way, academic and administrative, or whether there is any other classification? Kavuki, got the question? Yes or no?
Okay, pardon, madam.
Yeah. This school building, in Indian context, it is divided into two sections, academic and administrative. My question is, in your school context or university context, how the school building is divided into? James, can you tell, James?
Yes, ma'am. In our
Yeah,
school context, the building is divided into three. We have
yeah.
academic, administrative, and we have domestic.
Okay, domestic name, what things will come under domestic?
Domestic, what goes under it is the food that
Eh,
students eat, beds,
Okay,
beds that students sleep on, mattresses,
okay,
water supply that goes to the school
okay,
buildings. These are the
okay.
ones that
So,
goes under there.
okay, very good. So, from Indian context, in your context, that there is some difference in the term. That in Indian context, it consists of two sections, academic and administrative. I will tell that under academic, what all things will come. Assembly hall will come, library will come, museum will come, the medical section, that is the doctor's room, the health center, that all things, the sick room, the dispensary, everything comes under the academic. Students' common room section, toilet separate for boys and girls, then activities section, which includes the games room, the scout and guides room, NCC and NSS room, photography, club room, or some subject specific club rooms. All these things comes under the academic. And other academic things include craft section, that is the craft workshop, the craft store, then art section where it includes drawing and painting gallery, science section which includes one laboratory, then one museum, one store, physics, chemistry, biology labs, then music and dance section, it includes one demonstration room, one musical apparatus room, then home science section. It also includes home science workshop, one home science kitchen, one store, like that. Then the technology section will come, which consists of the computer room, the educational technology equipments store, then language labs, which includes lingua phones, audio visual aids, cassettes, etc. Then subject rooms like geography, maths, geology, social sciences, etc. Classrooms, one for each of the sections of the various classes in the school. So these things comes under the academic. But I can hear very good answer from James that the domestic, where they gave the aids for the free aids for or free treatment for the students, the first aid room, everything comes under the domestic. Then the drinking water, that is also under the domestic. Is it, James? It is
Yes,
like
madam.
that only, like
Yes,
domestic.
madam.
Okay.
Then in our case, the dining hall is under domestic. Dining
Okay.
hall is
Dining
under
hall is
domestic.
under domestic. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
The
Okay.
kitchen is under domestic. All the
Domestic.
toilets and washrooms that we have are all under domestic.
Domestic. Okay.
Yes. The
Then,
washrooms that for boys and girls are the domestic. Kitchen, canteen,
okay.
sorry, canteen is under the domestic.
Okay.
Yes.
So I can see a vast difference from your situation and from the Indian context in this domestic section. Then comes the administrative section. So what all things comes under the administrative section? They are the principal's room, the visitor's room, office room, record room, staff room, committee room, guidance and counseling room, accountant office, head clerk office, examination section. All these things comes under the administrative. Then the gardens, lawns, farms, flower pads, creepers, decorative plants, all the spaces comes under the administrative section. The playground will have separately demarcated grounds for various types of these sports, that is football, plays, sports and games. football, cricket, volleyball, kabaddi, like that. So the playgrounds comes under the administrative section. Then hostel building, where it is under the domestic section in your country, but here it is under the administrative section. The staff quarters and the swimming pool, gas plant, open air theatre, gymnasium, fire extinguishers, agricultural poultry, cycle shed, cafeteria, all these things comes under the administrative section. So we can see for every tangible school building, it consists of the two sections. Now we are going through an activity. I request Suleiman to read this activity one. Suleiman?
Okay, ma.
Yeah.
Suppose you are head of a school and you wish to make a survey for the identification of physical resources for management purposes. How will you proceed?
Okay. So now all of you can tell some steps. Suppose you are the head of a school and you wish to make a survey for the existing physical resources for management purpose. What all steps will you take? Everybody has to tell one step. Okay. Kavuku Peter, can you tell one step? How will you proceed?
One, I think
Yeah.
you can start with the head of the department.
What
You
thing?
can
Pardon?
consult from the head of the department.
Yeah,
You can
you are
start
the
with the
head
head
of
of
a school.
department.
Yeah. What you will do from all the head of the departments? What you will do?
Yes, please. I will consult them.
Okay, consult with them. Okay. Another step, James, can you tell another step?
Well, based on the question, first of all, like I would rather analyze the question first so that I will know what I'm looking for. So in this case, the tangible resource, financial resource, and intangible, I will write those down that these are the things that I'm looking for. Then, as
Okay.
the head, if I'm identifying these resources, then I can identify them under these three basic mains one.
Okay.
Now, in identification process, during that education itself, during that education itself, I can also consult teachers or look through the staff inventory or the laboratory inventories to look for some of these resources that I am looking for. Thank you.
Okay, good. And Muniba, what you will do? Suppose you are the head of a school. Muniba? And Suleiman, what you will do if you are the head of a school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma.
Come on.
If I was the one, I will
Ah,
first seek to
come on.
record unit. Then
Ah,
I will go available or not.
yeah. Okay. Muniba, now Muniba can tell. Muniba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What you will do if you are the head of a school in this situation?
Firstly, identification of the available resources.
Yeah.
And after that, then it should be classified into various types of resources we have. Those
Okay.
that are under finance should be under finance, those that are under tangible and intangible ones. Then
Okay.
after
Okay.
that,
Yeah. I thought your daughter is so eager to study at this age. Eh? Okay. Okay. So everybody is giving different types of answers, and very good answers come up that Muniba and James, they said that they will do first what are the existing resources. The first thing what the head of the school has to do is to find out the existing resources. And from the existing resources, they have to find the need assessment. What is the need of the school now? Whether the existing resources is apt to satisfy the demand. So if it is not satisfying, then the head of the school has to purchase more resources. So that then you have to classify what type of the three classification resources they have to make, and how much the budget. The next important thing is budget. Nobody tell about the budget. There is no approved budgets, there is nothing we can purchase. So what is important are the steps that are looking into. We have to look for the first the existing resources, then the need assessment we have to do, then we have to look the classification of the resources, what is needed, the budget we have to look at. So all those things are important thing. Now comes the principles of management of physical resources. So I request James to read this part. Principles of management of physical resources.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Principles of management of fiscal resources. 1. All possible resources should be identified and used appropriately. 2. There should be maximum use of all available resources. 3. Local resources should be sought and manufactured wherever possible. 4. The use of resources should be carefully maintained and controlled. Thank you.
So here we can see the different principles of management of physical resources. And in these principles, and James has read very well the principles of management of physical resources. And under it, we can see that all possible resources should be identified. So first, identification of the existing resources, then we can use it appropriately. The second principle, it stated that there should be the maximum use of all available resources. Sometimes there may be little tear and worn thing on the resources, but yet we have to try to maximize the utilization of the available resources. For example, if we have a damaged furniture, we should not purchase, go for a new thing. We try to maintain, repair and maintenance is needed for the existing resources. Then the next thing, local resources should be sought and manufactured wherever possible. Instead of going for the market product, which includes high exorbitant rates, it is better to purchase local resources. And then whether the manufacture will be easily done, if you need a new one, whether you will get it at the earliest, all those things should be taken into account. Next, the use of resources should be carefully maintained and controlled. If it is not carefully maintained, it may lead to some kind of losses if it is not carefully maintained. Now we have come to the point of characteristics of physical resource management. What are the characteristics of physical resource management? I request Muniba to read the characteristics of physical resource.
We have coordination,
Yeah,
safety,
yeah,
adequacy,
yeah,
economy,
yes,
efficiency and unity,
yes,
beauty,
yes,
adaptability,
yeah,
and
adaptability.
the center
Okay.
one is the characteristics of physical resource management.
Okay, so the characteristics of physical resource management, we can see that there should be adequacy, then there should be safety, there should be coordination, there should be efficiency and unity, there should be beauty, there should be adaptability, there should be economical way of using. So what does each term denote? So adequacy, it denotes that a school must possess adequately all the facilities necessary for running a primary school if it is, or if it is secondary school or senior secondary or university level institutions. So at each level, what is adequate number of resources needed for each level? The head has to know that one. So here, the adequacy is an important thing, And for ensuring the adequacy, some purposes are there. The first one, the site and surroundings, whether the school is residing in a proper way, whether there is accessibility for all learners, whether the area is good. The area is the second. And the plan, how do we plan the building, the construction of the building, the design of construction. We know that in a Indian school setup, majority of the school buildings are in L shape or U shape or O shaped or I shaped. These are the different types of shapes that form used for in the building construction. Now I request some of you to tell about your building construction. What is the design? Whether it is U design or whether it is C design or whether it is D design, whether it is H design, you can speak on your own aspect. Any of you?
My own school is a U-shaped design.
It is in L shaped.
No, U.
U shaped. Good. Okay.
Smart.
So then how was the lab? How was the, where is the teacher? Where is the principal's room?
Ma,
Can you tell? Principal's room.
you said?
Headmaster or headmistress room. Where is it? Whether it is at the center or at the back, you can tell.
It's at the center of the building.
Okay, it is the center of everything. So we can see that for each type of rooms, we are keeping a separate section. So characteristics of physical resource management. The first one is adaptability. Then comes economy. That is, the school plan should be economical in origin. It should not go out of many expensive, otherwise we won't get the money back. Then the beauty, the campus must be beautifully designed and decorated so as to present a cheerful atmosphere. So the campus itself, the environment itself gives an encouragement to the students to learn or not. So beauty is an important thing, efficiency and unity. The whole campus must be planned in such a way that the management is efficient and convenient so that the management can be done effectively. Then comes coordination. All the sections of the school campus must function separately but commence mutually so as to help and not interfere with each other's function. So there should be an interlinkage between the different departments and the people, and we should not damage that available resources. Then we can see that the efficiency and unity. The whole campus must be planned in such a way that the management is efficient and convenient. Then this efficiency and unity is also important. Then coordination is also important. So coordination, all the sections of the school campus must function separately but connected mutually to all, and that whether there is the proper ventilation, everything we have to check in the case of the safety criteria. What is the thing? So a school plan must be able to protect and serve the life and things of the people inside. So it must have proper ventilation and light. That is for the schools which are having windows. Then comes adequacy. A school must possess adequately all the facilities necessary for carried out in the different types of the co-curricular and the curricular activities. So here we can see that this adequacy is an important thing, whether all the facilities necessary are there, not only for the curricular activities, because co-curricular is also becoming important. And in the perspective of safety measures, we know that in some schools, whether it is at the top, in Delhi situation, you can see that it is many storied buildings. So these many storied buildings, there should need fire extinguisher for the safety measures. So such type of safety measures, whether we have taken, then drinking water supply, whether we have provided arrow water or some other facility that we provided for the learners and the staffs to have water. Then the economical way, that is also important. So these are the different characteristics of physical resource management. Then comes the next title, that is procedure of management of physical resources. What is the procedure of managing the physical resources? I request any one of you to read these 3 points. Who will read?
Okay, ma'am, let me read.
Okay.
The first one is making a survey of resources,
Yeah.
then making an analysis of the existing resources, then
Yeah.
preparing improvement program projects.
Okay. So we can see, first thing, as we have discussed earlier, what we have to do. It is a process. I told you earlier that we have to make a survey of the resources. What are the existing resources? Next thing, we can make an analysis of the existing resources. So survey of the resources, existing resources, then preparing improvement program projects we are doing. So let us go through each step in detail. What do we mean by making a survey of resources? So survey of resources, it means that physical resources of the school building, that is equipments in library, laboratory, then each club equipments, etc. So their physical resources of the school building is coming. Then resources easily available in the community. What all? We are always depending upon the community. We will tell that either taking the school to the community or bringing the community within the school. These are the two statements that normally we will tell. So here what is important is that resources easily available in the community. What are the resources? Here in Indian context, for every state there is public library. And what about in your country? Whether there is public library? Yes or no?
Yes, we do have, ma'am, in
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Okay, good. So in your country also there is public library, museum, hospitals, banks, and government departments. So these resources we are getting from the community. So physical resources are there in the school, and from the community also we are utilizing. Then does come the second step. What is the second step? Making an analysis of the existing resources. So here you can see what are the points are coming. Now I request James to read these points. James. James.
James is not available, ma'am.
Okay, he left. Okay. Kawuku. Kawuku Peter. Peter. Are you there? Everybody is going out of the class. Then Muniba, can you read these
Yes, ma.
points?
Making an
Ah,
analysis of existing
come on.
resources. 1. The school building is spacious enough to cope with the present needs. 2. The equipment and
Yeah.
furnitures are adequate. 3. The laboratory and library facilities are proper. The last one is the
Yeah.
institutional program needs reshuffling and changes, and the institutional needs additional adjunctions like hostels,
Not
staff quarters,
a
school
host.
bus,
Hmm.
and more playfields.
Playfields. Okay, good. Thank you. You have read nicely. So here, what are the existing resources? First, we have to think about the space concept. Whether the additional building, suppose we want to make, or additional extension we want to make. In such cases, we have to think whether there is space, enough space. In Delhi context, what is the limit constraint is the space, lack of space. So, storied buildings are increasing, but it may not be safe at all times, especially for children. So the building, whether the building is spacious. Second one, the whether all the rooms have enough equipments and furnitures, adequate equipments and furnitures. Then we can see there may be some broken furnitures which is out of repairable also. In such cases, we have to purchase new furnitures, or repairable furnitures we try to repair and maintain of the furnitures. Then comes the laboratory and library facilities are proper. Whether the laboratory facilities are proper or the library facilities are proper, we have to note it down. Then the institutional program needs reshuffling and changes, because some of the programs may, which is the immediately satisfying program, so the list of the importance given to the program may be reshuffled, and there may be the changes, and the institution needs additional things. Suppose we need some residential thing background, then a good hostel should be there, then staff quarters should be there. When the number of students increase, school bus should be there, and all the students, as we are emphasizing about the holistic development of the learners, we are giving importance for the playgrounds. So this playgrounds is an important thing. That means the playground should include outdoor games and the indoor games. What about the playgrounds in your school setup? Can any of you share? What about the playgrounds in your school level or the higher education level? Are you having enough playground?
Yes, we have enough playground in our school, ma.
Okay, good. So that indoor games and outdoor games can be carried. Now we can see we have stated about the different programs, the institutional programs. When we look at the institutional programs, we can see these programs can be classified into two: short-term programs and the long-term programs. From the term itself, you can make out what do you mean by this short-term program. This short-term program, it is meant to for a short period only. Within a short period, it should be realized. Whereas in the case of the long-term programs, the programs may be realizing after some years. Suppose the extension of the building, we can see that it may be realized after a long period. So now I have given some of the physical resource improvement projects that the school has taken. So what are the projects? We can see that the projects concerning building, projects concerning campus, projects concerning instructional material, projects concerning equipments, projects concerning hygiene and sanitation, projects concerning students' welfare. So these are some of the projects. And in these projects, when we look at the projects, we can see that some of the projects are short-term projects, whereas some of the projects are long-term projects. I have given here 6 projects. First projects, projects concerning building. Now my question is whether this is a short-term project or a long-term project. Who can say?
I
Yeah.
think this one is long-term project, ma.
Yes, correct answer, James. Okay. Next, projects concerning campus. How is it? What type of project it is?
It can also be categorized under long-term project, ma.
Long term. But projects campus beautification, it may happen sometimes uh, easily also, but within few months it may happen. Okay. Then projects concerning instructional material. What type of project? Instructional material.
This one is short-term, ma.
Yeah, correct answer. Then projects concerning equipments. What type of shop project? Equipments. Short term or
This
long
one,
term?
this one is long-term, I think.
Equipments. No, because for doing lab experiments, everything, we make it a short term project only. Otherwise, when the academic year is over, the equipments we will not get. Then how the students will do the experiment? So this is also a short-term project. Next,
Okay.
projects concerning hygiene and sanitation. What type of projects?
Short term.
Hygiene. Short-term. Projects concerning students' welfare. Yeah, who can tell concerning students' welfare? Eh? It is a short-term project. Students' welfare is also a short-term project. So we can see different varieties of projects. Projects concerning building, it's a long-term project. Projects concerning campus. If you take a very vast changes, then it is a long-term project. If for the immediate beautification, the gardening, everything, a little bit we can do it so that it can be short-term. Projects concerning instructional material short-term. Projects concerning equipment short-term. If the equipment is costing more, then it will take long of time. Then projects concerning hygiene and sanitation, it is short term. Projects concerning students' welfare, that is also short term. So now this I have given some projects or the activity that the school has to do in the purchasing thing. Now it's your duty to tell it comes under which project. I have given here 6 projects concerning building, projects concerning campus, projects concerning instructional material, projects concerning equipments, project concerning hygiene and sanitation, projects concerning students' welfare. Among these 6 projects, the first one, purchasing sports and craft equipments, comes under which category? Which project?
Short
Purchasing.
term projects.
No, no, no. Among these, which project? Among these 6. The question is purchasing sports and the craft equipments. Among these 6 projects, which projects it will come under?
Okay. Project concerning equipment.
Correct answer. Who said it? Suleiman and James?
Yes, Sulaiman.
Suleiman. Good answer. Okay. Projects concerning equipments. Next, supply of personal hygiene materials. Which project?
Then project concerning hygiene and sanitation.
Hygiene and sanitation. Good. Only Suleiman is answering. What about others? Are you sleeping, others? Eh? Kavuku Peter, left or are you there? Eh? What is the response I am getting? Either you left the class or you are sleeping. Eh? Are you there? Kavuku Peter? James, are you there? James? Left. Muniba, you are there.
Yes, ma.
Okay, good. Suleiman, are you there?
Yes, ma.
Okay, then whether anybody else has entered, Ola Abdul? Anybody else is there? No. Okay, so now we can see the third thing, provision of transport conveniences within the campus. Which project it is?
Project concerning campus.
Projects concerning campus. No, I will read once again. Provision of transport conveniences within the campus. Which project?
Project concerning student welfare.
Yes, very good. Project concerning students' welfare. Next one, provision of midday meals. Provision of midday meals. Which project?
It is also project concerning student welfare.
Students' welfare. Correct answer. Students' welfare. Next, enriching school library with journals and e-resources. Enriching school library with journals and e-resources. What type of?
Project concerning instructional materials.
Yes, Muniba, correct answer. Instructional material. Construction of compound wall. Which project? Construction
Project
of compound.
concerning building.
Building, correct answer. Okay, Muniba and Suleiman, you two are participating nicely. Thank you. At least we are getting responses. Otherwise, we will also get boring. Yeah? Okay. So we can see that for every plan of the school, we may divide the plan into two, the short-term plan and the long-term plan, and we select some of the projects. And for each projects, there are varieties of activities. That is, we are seeing here. Now, I want to tell that this resources, it should be maintained properly. What do you mean by this maintenance? The maintenance means the preserving and ensuring whether the resources are in good shape or in bad shape, whether it should be repaired, whether it has extinct, or whether it is finished, we have to purchase more. All those things we have to do. So in this case, the types of maintenance can be divided into two: planned maintenance and unplanned maintenance. Some maintenance we will always plan aheadly before the thing happen, and some things will happen, unplanned maintenance will become. For example, in Indian context, some schools are on the coastal areas. So what is happening during this tsunami, the earthquake or something, the building may rupture, crack, everything will come, or otherwise it may destroyed, it cannot be usable format. Or sometimes if there is flood in the country, the school building are using as the refugee camp. So in that cases, lot of maintenance. So this maintenance is not planned because the occurrence of the this climatic changes, no one can predict. It is the decision of the creator what is happening. So here we can say that it is unplanned maintenance cost should be there. Then the planned maintenance, we can see they can again divided into the preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, emergency maintenance, and routine maintenance. So these are the another classification of the types of maintenance. What do you mean by the preventive maintenance? That we want to prevent. Sometimes we have purchased some generator or something without a cover something. So we may think that with a covering thing, we can preserve it for a long time. So we can prevent the future rust or some loss of that particular equipment. That is known as preventive. Whereas the predictive maintenance, when we purchase this one and when we are utilizing, we will predict in future it may happen like this. So such type of maintenance we have to make sure. Then some emergency situation will come. There also we have to do the maintenance. Then some routine maintenance. We know that for the washing of the toilet, the uh, lotion we need, the brush we need, for cleaning the classrooms, the broom we need, and there also we need the lotion, and then some kind of clothes for cleaning. All these are routine maintenance that we, and then purchasing of the records, the chalks, everything, that these are routine maintenance. So there are different types of maintenance. Some maintenance we can plan aheadly, some maintenance we cannot plan. So they are known as unplanned maintenance. And this maintenance, another way when we look at it, we can see that there are preventive maintenance so that we can prevent the break or the rust or the damage of some kind of resources. Then the predictive maintenance is there. The emergency situation comes, emergency maintenance. Then for the daily things, what we are doing, the routine maintenance is happening. Then comes the supervision of physical resource management. What is the role of the head, the physical resource management? Now, before going to that supervision of that, we can see some of the things that what are the types of maintenance in your school you are observing. What types of maintenance? Suleiman, can you tell what types of maintenance?
Repeat the question, ma. Please.
Yeah, the what type of maintenance in your school you are taking care of? There are types of maintenance. The slide itself you can see. In your school situation, what types of maintenance?
Mostly plant maintenance, ma.
Planned maintenance. No unplanned maintenance. Can you tell some of the preventive maintenance you have taken or emergency maintenance in your
Like
school?
provision of fire extinguisher is for emergency matters.
Now,
Yeah,
what happened? What are the one example for emergency maintenance from your school context?
like when there is fire outbreak.
Okay, wind outbreak. Okay, okay, emergency maintenance. Okay, then James, can you tell predictive maintenance? Muniba, can you tell some other maintenance in your school?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Under emergency maintenance, we have the provision of first aid box.
Okay, first aid box. Okay, preventive
Yes.
maintenance. Okay, good, good. Then any other? Whether you have separate room for that?
Yes,
Yes.
there is
Okay.
a provision of a sick bay.
Okay. Okay. Sick room. Sick room. Okay. Oh, you are using the word sick bee. Okay, good. Sick bee. Okay, good. Now we have entered the supervision of physical resource management. What is the role of head? Supervision of physical resource management. So here, uh, Muniba, can you read first 3 points? First 3 points. Muniba, supervision of physical resource management, role of head. Who can read first 3 points?
Let me read, ma.
Yeah.
Supervision of physical resource management, role of head.
Okay.
One, all school building equipment and properties must be well maintained.
Okay.
The second one is he or she must be conversant with supplies and maintenance regulation. The
Okay.
third one is all school purchases must be correctly recorded and maintained in good order.
Good. The rest, Suleiman, you can read all school from all school.
Okay, supervision of physical resources management, role of head. The fourth one is all school purchases must be used for the purpose for which they were bought. Then
Okay.
goods and materials must be frequently checked and controlled to ensure their effective use. Then an up-to-date inventory must be kept in every location of the school resources.
Okay. So these are some of the role of the head while dealing with this physical resource management. So what is important in the first case, what we can see is all school building equipments and property well maintained of maintenance and property. But when we look in our context, real context, we can see that the school building which was constructed years ago, the same way it is going on. And when rain comes, there may be dropping of water, drizzling of water inside the room, or water may be leakage, water leakage is happening. So it creates a lot of problem to the fan or some other electrical wiring, everything. So this thing we have to take into consideration. So the maintenance of the building, the painting, everything is important. Then the head teacher must be conversant with supplies and maintenance regulations. If they don't know what is the budget for that, what is the budget head for the different resources, everything they have to keep in mind. Next one, all school purchases must be correctly recorded and maintained in good order. So a good stock register should be kept so that we have to check what are there, the items, whether it is in the stock. So different records and registers should be kept whatever we purchase. Then all school purchases must be used for the purpose for which they were bought. If we purchase one thing, we have to use it for that purpose only. We cannot change the purpose from one to the other. And the other one, what we can see is that goods and materials must be frequently checked and controlled to ensure their effective use. So somebody is unmuting. Mute yourself. Mute, mute, and then listen. Goods and
Muniba,
materials
Muniba.
must. Muniba, mute your phone. Then goods and materials must be frequently checked and they should be controlled to ensure their effective use. For that purpose, we can see the up-to-date recording and inventory must be kept in every location of the school resources. This is an important thing. And the next thing, what we are going to discuss is the constraints. So we know that there is a way means for every activity there will be some kind of constraints. So what are the constraints in physical resource management? So Suleiman, can you read the constraints?
Okay, ma. Constraint in
Yeah.
physical resource management. Let me start with the top one, that is insufficient funding.
Okay.
Then shortage of trained personnel, lack of storage space,
Okay.
insecure storage facilities, delays in the disposal of stocks, increase in maintenance demands, irregular record keeping.
Okay. So we can see that there are different types of constraints in physical resource management. The first one constraint that is insufficient funding. We know that there will be a lot of gap between the building setup, the equipments, the provision of the lab and the lab equipments. It depends upon the investment that a school has or how much share the government is giving to that particular school. So some government schools which are in the rural area, we can see it is in a bad shape only. So in that case, we can say that the funding, it should be distributed in a proper way. What about your school structure in rural area or in some ethnic culture, uh, interior area? Can you explain what is your school situation, building situation, school building? Any of you? Whether it is in proper shape, all the school building? Suleiman?
Ma, the building in my school is proper,
Yeah.
but we need some addition of some buildings like
Okay.
big halls and
Ah,
lecture rooms.
okay. Whether you have a good conference room for conducting workshop. So conducting big meeting or something, where will you conduct in your school? Suleiman?
You said what, ma?
Whether you have big hall for conducting of meetings, yes or no?
Yes, ma.
Okay, you have that provision also. Okay. So sufficient funding is an important thing. So the constraints, one, we can tell that in some cases insufficient funding. Next, shortage of trained personnel. Suppose you purchase the latest equipments, but nobody knows how to operate. Example, the smart board you have purchased, but you don't have the experience how to operate the smart board. In such cases, we can tell that the shortage of trained personnel is a constraint. Next one, the lack of storage space. We know that we may purchase all the equipments without thinking where we will keep each one. Suppose you purchase a lot of tables, chairs, but rooms are less. In such cases, the storage problem will come. Lack of storage space. Then comes insecure storage facilities. For the lab equipments, the experimental equipments, apparatus, everything for the psychological apparatus, things and everything, it should be kept in a locked storage. But in some cases, some schools may not have the sufficient storage facilities. So we may say that the insecure storage facility will lead to what? The constraint in maintaining the physical resources. Then the delays in the disposal of stocks. Sometimes we may make all the arrangements, the receipts and things and everything, but we are not able, there's so much delay in getting the equipments, because in the beginning of the financial year we may send the order, but it is getting at the end, means that academic year will be a waste, that learners cannot utilize that type of resources. So delays in the disposal of the stocks is there. Then increase in maintenance demand. We know that some equipments what we brought, it should be maintained properly, so that increase in maintenance demands is also a problem. For example, for the computer, when we purchase for the institution, we can see first is the desktop. The shape itself is different. Now it is like a book shaped only, that desktop or the laptop and everything. So there is a lot of differences. And we know that with the introduction of ICT in education, lot of technological improvement is happening in the field of education, so that the equipments are changing. You know that the school teachers, they are suffering now also, that the result they should be entered in different tabs, so that only the result will be published. So purchasing that type of software, it incurs money, and how to operate, we need trained personnel, and how to maintain this on. So what we will do with the this damaged computer, where we will keep, that all things is coming a problem to us. How do we throw away the computer? We cannot throw it. We know that with the introduction of plastic, how much the world is suffering. Now we are trying to remove the plastic free. We want to make India a plastic free India, or your country also plastic free South Africa country. So here, what is important is that we have to think about all those things. Then the irregular record keeping, another constraint. What is that? The purchasing is not there, the bill is not there, the stock register will not be there, and the regular checking of the stocks, it may not be happening. So all these things will lead ended into a confusion. So these all are the constraints in physical resource management. So we have seen that there are different steps for the procedure of management of physical resources: making a survey of resources, making an analysis of the existing resources, preparing improvement program projects, that is also is there. And what are the important things that is coming under the survey of resources? We can see that the physical resources of the school and the resources that are available from the community. Then we have discussed about making an analysis of existing resources, so that various points comes to our mind about the building space, the equipments and furniture, whether they are adequate, the laboratory and library facilities, then the institutional program, how we are handling them, all those things are coming. Then about the programs, we have think that there are short-term program and the long-term programs. So in the physical resource improvement projects, we are taking projects related to building, projects concerning campus, projects concerning instructional materials, projects concerning equipments, projects concerning hygiene and sanitation, projects concerning students' welfare. Then we have discussed about the types of maintenance. What are the different? The planned maintenance or unplanned maintenance, and what are the preventive maintenance, predictive, emergency, and routine maintenances. Then, what is the role of the head in the supervision of physical resource management? So, there we have discussed that the equipments and the property must be well maintained, and supplies and maintenance regulations should be conversant by the school head, and school purchases must be correctly recorded, and then school purchases must be used for the purpose for which they were brought. Then the goods and materials must be frequently checked and controlled to ensure their effective use. Then up-to-date inventory must be kept in every location of the school resources. Now we have discussed the constraints. So discussing the constraints, we have said that there should be enough finance on the part of the school to purchase all those things. Then the shortage of the trained personnel. In such cases, some staffs should be given the latest training. And you know that in the school situation, what is happening, that in the school situation, we can see that the changing of this ICT, introduction of ICT, the learning management system itself, all the details of the learners are available in the learning management system. And you are also operating this LMS portal only. So how everything was integrated, embedded in that system, so that with a one click, we will come to know about all those things. So the trained personnel is needed how to operate or how to execute the classes through the online everything. Then the lack of the storage space we have discussed. Then insecure storage facilities, delays in the disposal of stocks, increase in maintenance demands, irregular record keeping, all the things we have discussed. Now another activity, the case which I want to read. Muniba, can you read this activity? Muniba, can you
Yes,
read?
ma'am.
Or James?
Activity 3. A school inspection by the government authority is due in your school next week. Considering yourself as head of the institution, how will you make arrangements?
Okay. So this is one kind of situation that I have given, that a school inspection by the government authorities is coming. So you get within a short notice, you want to make arrangement. Suppose you are the school head, how would you make the arrangements? Now it is open for discussion. How would you make the arrangement? Whether James entered? No. Kavuku Peter, are you there? Kavuku? Okay, Suleiman, can you tell something? Suleiman?
Yes, ma.
Yeah, what you will do? If you are in the place of a school head, what you will do? Suleiman, can you read this one? Activity
Which
3.
one?
Activity 3.
Okay.
No.
Activity 3. A school inspection by the government authorities is due in your school next week. Considering yourself as head of the institution, how would you make arrangements?
Then now reflect upon your ideas. How would you make arrangement?
Okay, first of all, I will make sure that I
Yeah.
inform all the school personnel that
Okay,
the
very
government
good.
is coming for inspection to our school so that they
Ah,
too will make all their necessary arrangements for things to be good while
okay.
they arrive. Like all staff should make sure that all the records were
Yeah.
put in place, because I think the record is one of
How
the
will you
things that,
inform the learners and parents immediately?
yes, I can.
How? About the school visit by the inspection, the school inspection, how will you inform the parents and children?
The parent of the student.
Yeah. Are they staying nearby the school? Yes or no?
I
How
didn't
will
get
you?
you, ma.
Yeah, I am telling that suppose within 2 days you got only that on the third day some inspection will be happening. In such case, how will you inform your staff authorities and children?
The staff should be
Yeah.
informed through uh,
No. Mm.
either notice board
Okay. Now WhatsApp is there. You can
or
inform Jaldi. Yeah.
in
You can
the
inform immediately. You
platform
can
we have.
use WhatsApp. Or through email you can inform, message you can send. So we can see that with the introduction of ICT, there are a lot of ways. Okay, other arrangements what you will do, Jane, Suleiman, other arrangements what all things you will do.
Like which part of the arrangement?
The it's school inspection. You have stated about you will inform the parents and the learners and teachers. Other things what you will do. Muniba, can you tell what step you will take if you are the head?
Yes, ma.
Oh, come on.
Firstly, a meeting should be called immediately, or we call it a briefing, to inform the
Yeah.
staffs about our upcoming inspection.
Yeah.
So after that, the students should also be informed in the assembly ground or by providing flyers for them to take home for their parents to be informed about the upcoming in inspection.
Okay.
And then, and so in the assembly ground, the students should be informed about how we want them to appear on the day that
Okay.
the event is coming. That is about their cleanliness. Then non-teaching staffs also should be informed about
Okay.
the upcoming events so that they will take care of the school environments, the
Okay.
cleanliness of the school environments. Then
Hmm.
after that, the head teacher also should what? Make arrangements to what? To check all round. The head teacher should check his staff's lesson plans, diaries, register to make sure they
Yes.
are all updated.
Okay. So these are the various things when we discuss about management of physical resources. So we have covered the first part in this block, how to identify and select the resources, how to procure and manage the resources, then managing the physical resources. And based on this topic, if anybody got any doubt, you can ask any doubts. Any doubts are you having?
It is okay and well details.
Pardon? It is only
I said it is okay and well
okay,
explained.
okay. Then Suleiman, any hard
Thank
core
you, ma.
that you find in MES 006, managing
No,
teaching learning?
no,
Ah,
the lectures is well presented and well understood.
okay, good. Thank you. So, any other thing? What about the earlier blocks? May how to prepare an achievement test? Whether you have studied that one in your B.Ed program, achievement test. Have you studied in your B.Ed program achievement test? How to, yes or no?
Yes, ma.
Yes, okay. So, in this course, we can see that as a head or as a teacher or a prospective teacher, how to manage the different records, how to manage the physical resources, how to manage the finance, how to manage the evaluation. So, all these things are coming under the block. So, this block is primarily meant for the application level, where how to manage all these resources in an effective way so as to ensure the optimum results from the learners as well as from the supporting staff. And we can see that in the procurement of the resources, we have covered many things, that it contains several steps, like that the planning stage. Then the planning stage itself, it is divided into two: the need assessment stage and the situational analysis. So in that, we have studied, we have to analyze the existing resources in a school under the need situational analysis. So this is coming under the planning stage. Then we can see the procurement chart, how to prepare. While conducting the procurement process, after we fix for the planning stage, then we comes to actual conducting of the procurement process. For that, we have to emphasize selection of supplies, placement of order, and monitoring, and then monitoring the procurement process, storage and retrieval process. So all these things are under the management, procurement and management of the resources. So this procurement of resource is an important thing. Do you want to tell something, Suleiman? Your chat is coming. Suleiman, okay. Muniba, also enter your attendance on the LMS portal. Both of you enter your attendance on the LMS portal. Okay. I hope that both of you have entered. Yes or no? Attendance mark here.
Ma, you said?
Okay, marked. Okay. So here, you can write your name in the chat box also, so that it is evident that you are there. The chat box also you can write. So we can see that these are an important part for maintaining or managing the resources. So what is important for the head teacher is that they should have a knowledge somewhat. They cannot tell that they are not aware about any financial background, but they should have some kind of financial background, the basics of the thing, how to maintain a register, how to fill the bill, how it should be. So with the help of the supporting staff, they can learn many of the things, and not only the teaching learning process. So what is happening in the real field, when a teacher is appointed to in the administrative post, they will tell that they are not acquainted with the present situation. So managing these administrative matters, it needs a specific skill, which is also we are providing in this program. So this is all about the management of physical resources. And in this course, now you can speak about what else you want to know, whether any hard sports or anything you can ask. But any at least two members are entering. Kavuku has get out. You can speak anything whether you have. Anything you want to tell about? What about the assignments and everything? Assignments, have you got assignments?
We have seen the assignment, but we have not started attempting.
Okay, you have received the questions.
Yes,
Yes.
the questions are ready in our LMS.
Okay. LMS portal mein hai. So from that you
Yes.
can, yeah. So the assignments, while you are writing, you have to take care that there are 3 assignment questions for each course, so that you have to write they are in the nature of the application level. You have to write the school situations, give enough examples while writing assignments, give enough school situations, And then only you have to write the assignments. Don't write as if taking from the self-learning material. From the textbook, say, you don't take it from the SLM as it is. You have to write in your own words and then give so many examples. What about your friends? You have to make them to encourage them to enter. What happened to James, Kavuku? They have left in the meantime. Now it is what time in your school? What is the timing there now? Morning, what time?
It's already afternoon, 12:06.
It is afternoon only.
Yes,
What is the time?
this is 12 noon.
Okay, 12 noon. Okay, afternoon it is. Okay. So, anything else in the doubting part? Anything else from this part?
There is no doubt, ma.
No doubt. Okay. So, any hard sports that you meet?
Ma, I have a question. Hello.
Come on, come on.
Okay, my question is that can we start attempting the assignment given to us?
Pardon? What about the assignment?
I said, can we start attempting the assignment given to us?
Yes, yes. You have to start now. You have taken admission in which cycle? January 2023 or July 2022? Eh?
July.
July 2022.
Yeah.
Eh? Then you have to submit the assignment by March 31st.
Okay, ma.
Because you are
Okay.
July 2022 student, so you have to submit the assignment by 31st March.
Okay, ma.
You don't get any instruction.
We didn't.
Okay. Jagadamba sir? Jagadamba sir? RC, I will just.
Hello.
Hello. Their admission cycle is July or
Hello, ma'am. I'm Anita here, ma'am. Jagdamba sir is not here. I think he has
Okay,
gone.
okay. Then okay, Anita, can you
Ji,
tell
ma'am.
these students admission cycle is July 2022 or January 2023?
22 or
23, yeah. Their admission cycle, which admission cycle, these students?
I think, ma'am. I think 2023.
January 2023.
Ji, ma'am.
Okay, but students are telling July 2022.
July 2000. Okay, ma'am. I am also not sure. Let me ask Dr. Jagdamba. Should I?
Okay, no, what I want to tell, you stop the recording. Now we are discussing the other things. The classes are over. Stop the recording.
Okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Then we will discuss. Stop recording.
Okay.
Stop the